Hey guys, Triple B here! There's been a lot of reveals this week for the Pokemon TCG, from card reveals from the Battle Partner set that's releasing soon in Japan, as well as merch releasing alongside it, some promo products coming out in English, even a sneak peek at the upcoming free decks we'll be getting for the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, and even the official release date for our next English set, Journey Together, which will kick off the I block of cards starting 2025 off. We do have Prismatic Evolutions, but it's mostly a reprint set, so the I block cards will be releasing in, well, it looks like March. We'll get to that in just a moment. When those do come out though, we will be seeing the rotation for the standard format, which has officially been announced today. So if you want to keep up to date with all the news, make sure to stick around to the end of the video, but let's kick it off by talking about the standard rotation, which will be happening on April 11th, 2025. So not too far off. We do have about 3 months to get there, so make sure you're enjoying those decks that you like that are going to be on the way out. Things like Regidrago Vstar and Lugia Vstar. The Radiant Pokemon will be on the way out as well, and even the Lost Box mechanic. Definitely cards that have been a lot of fun to be in rotation, but I feel like they've had their time in the sun. It's been about 3 years since most of those have released, so yeah, their time's come. All the cards from Brilliant Stars through to Silver Tempest, so your Radiants, your Vs, they're on the way out, and honestly, as much as I have enjoyed those cards, I think it's about time that they do head out for the format. Next thing we're going to talk about is the official announcement of Journey Together, which will be releasing on March 28th, and pre-releases will be starting around March 15th to March 23rd. So if you're keen for pre-release, don't worry, I'll be doing a video helping you guys get ready for that when it starts. And we have gotten to see a lot of cards releasing for this set, being part of Japan's Battle Partner set. We also get a peek at the booster pack art we're getting, so Iono with Bellibolt, Lily with her Clefairy, N with Zoroark, and Hop with his Zacian, all of the trainer Pokemon that will be in the set being their EXs that are coming with them. The ETB is going to feature N with his Zoroark and come with sleeves featuring him as well as some, they're like booster pack bundles. So we've got one with Scraggy, there's a Scrafty as well, a Yanma and a Yan Mega, and even a Rhyperior as like a check lane blister. Like if you're at the grocery store, they'll have these where it's like, hey, you can buy a booster pack and a Pokemon line to go with it. None of them seem amazing, but if you want like some kind of pseudo rare versions of them, I guess they usually have like some fancy holo foils to them. Those are available for you. There will also be the booster pack bundles, which have 6 booster packs and come in a box similar to a pre-release kit. Not quite the same though. You get 6 booster packs in it and no trainer kit, whereas a pre-release kit, you're going to get 4 booster packs and then the trainer kit to build a deck out of the box and ready to go. So don't get those too confused. They do look very similar though. We are also getting a peek at a new promo product that will be releasing. Well, not really a peek, but a heads up that it will be coming, being Hop's Zacian EX box. It's going to have a jumbo version of Hop's Zacian EX, as well as a playable version for it. So if you want it for a deck, it's an easy way to get one. And even a holo version of his Wooloo and Dubwool. So the Dubwool, pretty cool Pokemon. When you evolve it up, it's effectively a boss's orders, but on a Pokemon, just gust up one of your opponent's bench guys. So seems like a solid card for the standard format. And honestly, yeah, I'm keen to pick up some playsets for myself. If you want it as a holo, you got to get this promo product or just buy it as a single from a shop or a friend that picks it up and doesn't want it for some reason. But I feel like most people that are picking up this product are going to want it. So if you want to get a holo version of it, you're going to have to pick it up yourself. Some new card reveals coming out though. We are getting Volcanion EX, a new supporter in Iris, a Wailord and its illustration rare, and even some other ones sneaking in here, being Magmortar. So Magmortar's got the ability Magma Surge. During Pokemon checkup, put 3 more damage counters on Pokemon that are burned, and then it has an attack doing 90 damage. Flip a coin. If it's heads, your opponent's active is now burned. So theoretically, if you hit heads, you're doing 90 plus 50 from the burn, because normally it does 20 between turns. You're adding an extra 30. Gets up to 140. You need 2 fire and a colorless energy to use this attack, even for alternate formats like Gym Leader Challenge. I don't really see this being relevant for the attack, but for the additional damage it applies with burn, maybe that comes up. Volcanion EX has an ability that when this is in the active spot, you can make your opponent's active Pokemon burned, so it's kind of seeming like they're trying to pair this and Magmortar together as just like a way to ramp up additional damage from status condition burn. So a little bit cheeky, a little bit different. We have ways to ramp up damage with poison. Now we're finding ways to do it with burn. So yeah, never a bad thing to have additional ways to scale up damage. The attack on here doing 160 damage, and you do have to move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So 2 fire and a colorless on the attack here. Doesn't do a lot of damage and you're moving energy around. It's interesting. Obviously, having the ability to burn them, you are scaling up damage in that way. So You potentially get up to like one-shotting basic EXs, but having other basic EXs like Raging Bolt that can one-shot stage 2 EXs, I don't really see Volcanion being relevant in the format. Happily be proven wrong though. If you have a different opinion, just let me know in the comments down below. New Wailmer, it evolves into Wailord. That's pretty much all that there is to say about that. But the Wailord has Hydro Pump, an amazing attack we've seen printed on a number of cards. For every water energy attached to this Pokemon, ramp up its damage. This one's going to be going up by 50 and costing 4 colorless energy to use. We do have Baxcalibur in rotation, so getting the energy on this won't be an issue. You can just play as many water onto this in your turn as you like from your hand and quickly scale up damage. It's going to be great for Gym Leader Challenge. It's going to be great for the alternate format budget build battles that I run tournaments for every Friday night on Limitless. If you're interested, let me know. Always happy to have new people joining the format, and we always have people in the Discord looking for games. Basically just a single prize format focused in standard, but unlike Gym Leader Challenge that's limited to one type in your deck and one card in your deck, you can have any cards that you want in your deck, and just a limitation of 2 copies of each card instead of 1. So makes it a little bit interesting for the deck building process. Wailord's going to be an absolute machine in both those formats though, and potentially in standard. Getting up to stage 2 killing numbers, like stage 2 EXs, you have to get up to effectively 330 to take out Charizard, 340 with Mamoswine EX coming out soon. So you need, what, 7 energy on this? It's not impossible, but I feel like there's better ways to do it. For alternate formats though, Wailord 100% very keen for this card. We're getting a new Pokemon for N, being Purloin. Does 20 damage for a dark and a colorless energy. Your opponent reveals their hand, put a card you find there on the bottom of their deck. So a little bit of disruption, a little bit of damage. Nothing too crazy here. Does make me think we'll likely be getting N's Liepard at some point, and this is just re-evolution for it, and they're holding off that information for now. So keen to see what that is when it's revealed. A new Magearna card with the ability Auto Heal. As long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, whenever you attach an energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, heal 90 damage from that Pokemon. We've got ways to ramp out energy. Did mention Baxcalibur earlier, so potentially that becomes a way to just heal things, right? Like just tank crazy hits. Attach 3 energy in a turn, you're healing 270 damage. 4, you're getting up to what, 360? That sounds right. Yeah, 360. Come on, math skills, go. So yeah, definitely an interesting card. I could see this even being good for alternate formats like Gym Leader Challenge and budget build battles, but for standard, it's definitely got potential. Like healing's never a bad thing. There is a lot of decks that do rely on 2-hit KOs, so being able to remove that from your opponent, like they're like, oh, I'm just going to hit you twice, and you just go Magearna in play, ramp out energy, nothing happened. Yeah, this card's definitely got potential, and as a one-off for your collection, just as like a tech card, definitely seems worthwhile. Hop's getting another Pokemon for his arsenal, being Corviknight. It has the attack Shoot Through, doing a base damage of 50, and also doing 50 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So we have Zacian EX that does 30 and 30 to a bench guy, and then now, hey, a single prize stage 2 that does 50 and 50. We already know Hop has a lot of cards that can help ramp up his damage, so Corviknight can be hitting pretty hard in the active and doing some chip damage to the bench. It's almost seeming like you could build a single prize box with Hop's Pokemon for the standard format and be doing pretty fine. Like between this, he's got Cramorant, he's got Snorlax, got that Stadium to boost his damage, the Choice Band to boost his damage. Yeah, Hop's looking pretty good for standard as well as the budget build battles format. So yeah, keen for them, but also a little confused why Hop is the strongest trainer of all the ones so far. Like you think N and Iono would be like on par, if not better than him, and then it's just like Hop's gone from drawing 3 cards to dominating the format, it seems like. So that's cool, I guess. Obviously needing a Rookidee and a Corvisquire to evolve up into the Corviknight. We're getting those as well. Neither of them's too crazy. During your opponent's next turn, this takes 20 less damage from attacks for 1 colorless energy, and the Corvisquire, you're going to be rare candying over. You're not playing that in the deck. Maybe Evo TM into it, I suppose. Super Potion is getting a reprint. Heals 60 damage from one of your Pokemon. If you do, discard an energy attached to that Pokemon. Healing for the format, it's never a bad thing. We did mention that there's a lot of decks running around going for 2 shots. This could be relevant. Healing 60 does also completely negate the damage counter Dragapult's going to be putting out. So Dragapult puts 6 damage counters on your bench and you go Super Potion, just get rid of them. Yeah, could be relevant. Another card for Hop being Hop's Bag. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Hop Pokemon and put them right onto your bench. So effectively Buddy Poffin specifically for Hop, but it's not restricted by the amount of HP or even if they have rule boxes or anything. So it's like if you want to get 2 of Hop Zacians out, you can just do that. So it's sort of like Battle VIP Pass, But Battle VIP Pass was limited to only on the first turn of the game, but this is like, no, you just get it whenever, but only your hot Pokemon. So, yeah, I don't know who at TPCI is like, yeah, I really like Hop, let's make him broken in the game, but can you just like cool it off for a bit and let the other guys get some good stuff too? That'd be cool. We're getting a new supporter card in Iris. It makes you discard a card from your hand. If you do, you're going to draw cards till you have 6 in your hand. Yeah, not bad. More draw support for the format is always good. Iono still in rotation. Professor's Researcher is still in rotation. So we're not really hurting for like get a big hand size card. But the fact that Iono, as the game progresses, will start to punish you and your opponent. Like, it's a disruption card. It disrupts the opponent, but it does also hurt you. Whereas Iris is just always going to be, hey, get you to a 6-card hand. You're losing the effect of disrupting your opponent. But with cards like Bibarel rotating out, there's not going to be a lot of counterplays into Iono. Like, we do have Mew EX, Pheasantipity as well, but having just a supporter card that you're always just going to be getting into a large hand size is good for the format. Like, potentially it becomes run 4 this, run 4 Professor's Research, and that's your draw engine if you don't want to be reliant on Pokemon to help you get there. And then a new Stadium card for N. Each of your N Pokemon in play has no retreat cost. Yeah, not bad. If you want to be doing like hit and run strategy with N, yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't mind it. Hop Stadium definitely seems like the most broken one so far. Iono's lets you get 2 lightning energy back from the discard. Hop scales up damage and gives you free retreat. And I'm sure Lily will get one soon too. So keen to see what it is when hers gets revealed. Some more cards in Battle Partners though. We're getting a Larvitar evolution line. So 20 damage for 2 colorless energy. Flip a coin. If it's heads, discard an energy from your opponent's active. It's not bad. It'll be pretty rare you're using it, but the options there. Has 70 HP, so you can get it with Buddy Poffin, which is always nice. Pupitar, you're going to be Evo TMing and manually evolving immediately through, or rare candying over. And Tyranitar with the ability Daunting Gaze. While this is in the active spot, your opponent can't play any item cards from their hand. That's a bit nutty. It does also have an attack that does 150 damage and discards the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So it's disrupting them by not letting them play item cards, and then it's disrupting them by milling them. Not bad. Having a dark and a colorless energy attack cost, you could accelerate energy to this with like Janine's Secret Technique, or potentially even Crispin, getting you 2 energy of different colors. So it's get a dark energy, attach it, get a different colored energy, manually attach it, and it's online. So yeah, interesting. For standard, I'm not sure that it's going to be fast enough. Like, I feel like for control decks, there's just better options. Like Hydreigon, you can hit decent numbers in mill cards, or you just go all in on Budu and item lock them from the get-go. And Budu's an attack that says you can't play any items on your next turn. This is while it's in the active, so they can gust around Tyranitar. So I feel like Budu's probably a little bit better in that aspect. But for alternate formats, budget build battles, I think this is going to be a solid deck. Gym Leader Challenge, unfortunately, it being a dark type, and I don't think we have a Pupitar or Larvitar that are dark. So yeah, it's not going to really function in that format, but yeah, cool card nonetheless. We're also getting a new supporter card, Ruffian. So I have covered this one in a YouTube short. If you keep up to date with those, you've already heard about it. But if you haven't, you just watch the long form ones, don't worry, I got you covered here too. But yeah, Ruffian is going to choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. You're going to discard a Pokemon tool from it, as well as a special energy from them. So effectively replacing like Lost Vacuum and Enhanced Hammer. Instead of needing 2 cards to do it, you're putting it into 1 card. The trade-off being it is a supporter. So you're using your supporter for turn to get like a double utility out of it. Lost Vacuum is going to be rotating. The only tool counter we have aside from Ruffian is going to be Jamming Tower. It's a stadium, just shuts down all tools in play, yours and the opponent's. Obviously hitting every tool instead of just one with Ruffian is a bonus, but your opponent can just bump that stadium on their turn and their tools are back online, so Ruffian's a more permanent solution for that. And then to get rid of special energies, Enhanced Hammer is staying in rotation. You have Giacomo that gets rid of a special energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon, just one of them though. So we've got options for that, but Ruffian's just kind of a way that it's like, hey, is this niche situation coming up? Do you want to counterplay to it? Cool, slot this in as 1 card in your deck for very situational time. So it's definitely a good card to be printed for the format. I'm not too sure how often it will come up, but it's always it's a nice thing to have in your tech binder just in case. The other Pokemon getting revealed this week is Metagross. So we've got a Beldum, does 10 damage for a Psychic Energy or 30 for 2. It's Psychic type though, which is kind of relevant, means you could get it back with the supporter card Tulip, which is nice. Matang being Psychic type, it's okay. It also says numbers for energy. It's fine. And a new Metagross. This is kind of like the hero of this evolution line, obviously being the final stage. It's got Joint Beam, does 130 base damage, but if Beldum and Metang are both on your bench, 150 more. So it gets up to 280. You're one-shotting basic EXs as well as stage 1 EXs. You could check a maximum belt on there to get up to 330 or have some other damage modifiers to get up to 330 and deal with stage 2 EXs. So yeah, not a bad shout. Bit of single prize shenanigans. The fact that there is a full evolution line that is psychic type, did mention Tulip, means you can get that full evolution line back. So Metagross wants to make sure you've got them all on your board. Metagross gets knocked out, use Tulip, recover Metagross, manually evolve up that Metang that you had sitting on your bench into the Metagross, manually evolve the Beldum up into a Metang, and then just rebench the Beldum, and you're good to go. Getting the energy out on this is probably going to be the most awkward part. Needing 2 Psychic. You can use Gardevoir EX to accelerate some energy out, or potentially Xatu if you want to keep it to like a full single prize shenanigans deck. So yeah, it's got some rogue potential. I'm not sure if it's going to be top tier. I could see it like sneaking in at like tier 2.5 maybe. But yeah, not a bad card. For alternate formats though, GLC, definitely an interesting one to play around with, and budget build battles, I feel like this is going to be a mainstay in that format, so yeah, keen for it for that. Also getting Dundunsparce EX, the Dundunsparce EX. New Dundunsparce though, you can switch this with one of your bench Pokemon, it's okay. 70 HP, so you can get it with Buddy Poffin. It does have 1 retreat though, we have a free retreat Dundunsparce, so I feel like that's just going to be the one you play this with. The Dundunsparce EX though has Adversity Tail, doing a multiplier of 60 for each of your opponent's Pokemon EX in play. So if your opponent benches out with EXs, that's 6 in play, you get up to 360, you can deal with stage 2 EXs in one shot. Or if Area 0 Underdepths is in play, you could get up to, what's 9 times 6? 540. You can do some pretty crazy numbers with this. Opponents will obviously play around you, but if you're using the Dundunsparce draw engine that's just like, hey, bounce this back into your deck, draw 3 cards, having 1 copy of Dundunsparce EX for that like surprise shenanigans, not a bad shout. And the fact that it has 270 HP and only needs 1 energy to use the attack, you can easily just be looping this with Turo. So you could just try and make it its own deck. You won't necessarily be one-shotting opponents because they'll just bench around you, but if you're double tapping into them and they have to 2-shot into you also, then you just pick it up with Turo, re-attack or re-evolve another one, attach an energy, get going. Yeah, it's got some potential for sure. For the merch coming out for this set though, Battle Partners is going to be releasing in January in Japan, so to get this stuff, you're going to have to get in early and look through websites that'll be able to ship through to you. I think Mecha is like the one that I know of that's usually pretty good. eBay is also an option. They usually charge a little bit more though if people just reselling the stuff, but there's some cool merch in here for sure. Some sleeves featuring N and Liepard, as well as a deck box to go with it. Lily and her Clefairy on sleeves and deck boxes. Hop with his Snorlax. We've got Iono with... It looks like all of her guys. That's not fair. But all the other ones just get one guy, and then Iono's like, no, gang's all here. Calling shenanigans on that, but yeah, fair enough. Iono's even getting a playmat. Getting some sleeves with Furret and Sentryts. And then some sleeves with Charmander, Pidgey, and Dreepy. So it seems like they're well aware that like, hey, Charizard, Pidgeot, and Dragapult EX can all be put in a deck together. Here's sleeves for you. Fair enough. Mew's getting some sleeves, and then there's even some on there. I'm not too sure what these are. All the A-Specs? It's all the A-Specs. That's cool. You know what? I like that. All the A-Specs on a sleeve. Respect. I kind of wish that was like a deck box or a playmat, but no, I like that. The next bit of news though, we're getting hints at Mega Pokemon coming out to the TCG again. So we do know that Legends AZ is going to be releasing at some point this year, which is like Legends Arceus was for Sinnoh. Legends AZ is going to be for Kalos. So Kalos was what introduced Mega Evolutions to the game. We've previously had them in the TCG. It's looking like they're likely coming back. Since Japan has trademarked the names Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia. Yeah, expect those later in the year. The previous way Mega Evolutions worked in the TCG is when you evolved up into them, it ended your turn, or you had to play item cards specifically for a specific Pokemon that was like, hey, I play this, I can evolve up into this and it doesn't end my turn. I think it was called like Spirit Links or something. And I want to say every single Mega Pokemon got one, but I wasn't actively playing that much during that period, so yeah, happy to be corrected if I'm wrong. But yeah, we haven't really gotten any hints as to what Pokemon those would be. Mega Symphonia kind of makes me think like Meloetta, which is like a music Pokemon. It sounds like Symphony, and Mega Brave. I don't know. Lucario? Mega Lucario was like the first Mega you got in those games, so it wouldn't surprise me if it's that. But Legends AZ is going to release, and we're likely getting new Mega Pokemon coming out with that game, so it could be for ones we've never seen before, and I'm completely off. But yeah, time will tell. So yeah, very keen for that to release though. And then if you're wanting to read into this a bit more on PokeBeach, they do talk about the Mega mechanic in the TCG. They're a bit more informed with it than I am. And then, whoops, getting a little ahead of myself here. We'll switch screens so it's easier for you guys to see. The PTCGL free decks we'll be getting with Prismatic Evolutions, first one being Flareon EX, and it is the card shown on screen for you now. So you'll be getting 3 copies of Flareon EX, 1 copy of Jolteon EX, and 1 copy of Vaporeon EX. They all have the same second attack, costing a Fire, Water, and Lightning, and doing 280 base damage. You could scale this up with like a maximum belt, getting up to 330 and one-shotting stage 2 EXs, so that would be the A-spec I'd pair this with. But they're giving you a Sparkling Crystal instead, so just making it so your attacks cost a little bit less. Flareon's going to be kind of the main one of the deck though, obviously having 3 copies, and the first attack doing 130 base damage, and searching your deck for 2 basic energy, then attaching them to one of your Pokemon. So you could effectively use Sparkling Crystal on Flareon and 1 energy for turn, and start attacking. There's an Eevee that has the ability Boosted Evolution. As long as this is in the active spot, it can evolve during the first turn that you play it. So the game plan is going to be Eevee in the active, evolve it into Flareon, attach Sparkling Crystal, attach an energy as early as the second turn of the game. If you go second, you can start attacking for 130 and accelerating energy out. It's not a bad concept. I don't know that it'll necessarily be meta, but yeah, it'll be some fun shenanigans. And this is the free deck you get just for logging into PTCGL, while Prismatic Evolutions is the most recent set. So it'll be like end of Jan to mid-March. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It does also get you some EVEXs that can evolve up into the Evolutions, so you could effectively have up to 4 copies of this and this Eevee and have 8 Pokemon in your deck that can evolve up into your EXs. It's a little bit silly. Pheasantipity EX being in here, and then 3 copies of Noctowl. So as long as you have a Terra Pokemon in play, when you evolve up into this, search your deck for 2 trainer cards. Great card. But yeah, honestly, keen to try this out. This build, it's not going to be the way that this is competitively viable, but it's definitely got legs. Like, you could log into PTCGL, pick this deck, hop on ladder, and do fine. Like, you wouldn't lose every game. You'd be able to hold your own, but yeah, time will tell. The other deck we are going to be getting, or actually before I get into that, the other cards that we will be getting for this deck are 2 copies of Flareon EX, 1 Jolteon EX, a Vaporeon EX, some more Noctowl and Hoodoos, more Eevees, a Mela, Area 0 Underdepths, and Gravity Mountain. These all unlock when you get to level 29 of the Battle Pass though, so they're going to be, I believe, kind of like the full art versions of them to help you bling out the deck, and even a fancy version of the Flareon EX when you get up to tier 31. So yeah, playing through the Battle Pass, it kind of just helps you upgrade these decks. The other deck you'll be getting for getting to, I want to say, rank 26 of the Battle Pass is Regidrago Vstar. This is the list that won Worlds for the Seniors Division in 2024. So you're getting a 4-3 line of the Regidrago Vstar, having Apex Dragon. You can copy any attacks of your Dragon Pokemon from the discard pile and use it as that attack, so a little bit of cheeky shenanigans there. You've got Ogerpon that can use Teal Dance, accelerate an energy to itself once per turn, draw a card. Combine that with Regidrago, who needs Grass and Fire to attack. You're accelerating energy to Ogerpon, you're using Energy Switch over to Regidrago, and you can just kind of come out of the gate running, getting attacks as soon as you can get evolved up into the V-Star, so yeah, not a bad shout. And then for attackers, you've got Dragapult in here, 200 damage to the active, 6 damage counters to the bench, Giratina, 280, Lost Zone some energy, Hawlucha, setting up pings, so it does 1 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, so you combine that with Dragapult. If your opponent has pre-evolution Pokemon with 70 HP, you're just pinging them with Hawlucha, then you're putting 6 damage counters on them with Dragapult, and they're having a bad time, as well as Goodra Vstar doing 200 damage with Rolling Iron and making it so you take 80 less damage from attacks, and even a Kyurem sneaking in here with Trifrost. If your opponent has any copies of Colress in their discard, you can use this attack for 1 colorless energy. So if you pair into Lost Box, Kyurem can be attacking on its own, but you can also be using this attack with Regidrago. It's going to do 110 damage to 3 of your opponent's Pokemon. So you can hit the active, hit 2 guys off the bench, and just like ruin their day. Like, oh, you have pre-evolution Pokemon, and they're gone. Yeah, a little bit cheeky. Does have Gust and Canceling Cologne in here too. So even if they bench a Manaphy, you just go, I'm still messing up your bench. So yeah. Regidrago, I feel like most people are familiar with this deck, but if you're just getting into the trading card game, it's a very fun deck to get your hands on. It will be rotating out though in March. So get your reps in with it while you can, and it will be free as long as you get to rank 26 of the Battle Pass. If you keep pushing through the Battle Pass though, by getting up to tier 61, you're going to get extra copies of fancier versions of these cards. So Regidrago V, Teal Mask Ogerpon EX, some Dragapult, Giratina, I believe gold E-switches, Super Rod, and Switch. Yeah. It's neat. Yeah, definitely some interesting stuff in there. And I think that's about it for the news of the week. Yep, it's going right back to the beginning there. So I hope you guys did enjoy that. If you enjoy videos like this and want me to keep doing the weekly news updates, let me know. I'm more than happy to get back into the routine of doing this. Have kind of fallen out of it though. I used to do it every single week, and yeah, I haven't been overly consistent lately, guys, so apologies for that. But if you do want the weekly news wrap-ups, let me know. More than happy to kind of try and reestablish this routine. Have been trying to stick to the shorts though, doing like card reveals in that way, so I hope you guys are enjoying that. Or if you haven't even known about that, maybe you don't watch shorts, check them out. Let me know how they go. Always open to feedback. But yeah, now I'm kind of just rambling. If you made it this far, make sure to hit that like button and let me know, and subscribe to keep up with the shenanigans. Till next time though, stay golden, you Goombas.